This is Hardy Brute, with another run of Drill Core. Moving on from Mission 2. Last time we played with lots of lasers, so this time I'd like to play with some different turrets, some different buildings, see what kind of tech we can get. There's actually a little face here on the drill, and he freaks out while you're drilling. That's pretty funny. I also noticed in the meta progression, there are 3 different types of races. The humans, the dwarves, and a biospecies. That reminds me of the Zerg. Last time we played with the big slow turret that does 90 damage. So let's play with the machine gun that only does 8, but shoots a lot faster. We started out with a factory, which will give us passive income, and the barracks, which lets you build units and gives you more population. We're going to try to rush 10 workers, and then go into tech, go into other buildings, because the 11th and 12th worker start costing double. They cost 2 iron, and they can die incredibly easy. So you're kind of just throwing money down the hole at that point. Synergy makes the turrets better, but it also takes a turret slot. And the mortar doesn't have any skills, but these ones do. A rocket watcher that does 20% more damage, or a poison turret that costs 1 less. Those are both really good. I want both of those. But I'm going to take the rockets for now. The watchers actually go on your platform. So you place it instead of a factory, instead of barracks, while as the turrets go on the left and right, and they're primarily for defense. Watchers also periodically attack, while the turrets only attack when things are within range. Explosive turret recharge. Well, our watcher is not a turret. Interval between worms is increased. It probably means that the length between worm attacks is longer, but the way I read it is that the worms are going to attack more often. Instead of just a bunch of free iron, I picked the explosive radius. So when we do build the rocket towers, they're going to be even bigger, because we'll find the iron eventually. We've got a second barracks now, so we got 10 population, and we're getting close to maxing it out. Every guard we get as well will help us at night defense. And that purple black hole can actually kill people. When the purple lightning spawns, it can hurt people, but when it's just sitting there, it doesn't actually do damage. But we would like to kill that hole before it kills someone. That guy went straight into the hole and just died. I don't know what that guy's problem was. But that's what we would like to prevent by getting rid of those. The worm was spawning at the top at our escape route, so we had to get out there right away. The worm will one-shot us. When we spent too long underground, we barely got to see that wave. The machine guns are incredibly good against the first wave, the second wave, and then they start spawning bigger guys, and they start to fall off. But they'll just destroy the first ones. And let's get revenge on the black hole. It's killed us a bit too much already. But we made it to max workers, and now we can just store up some resources. We can start building some watcher turrets, some research buildings. The research is very nice because the first few upgrades, they cost about 3 iron, 3 blues. And they're highly effective for all your workers, making them 30% faster, 30% healthier, doing more damage. And it's a really good resource sink. The tier 2 upgrades start costing the reds, which is a rare resource. And all the buildings, they start costing red as well. So the red is usually the limiting factor. Let's focus this black hole. And let's increase our speed. I'm pretty sure that means their movement. 30, 50, 100, 133% speed. 25, 50% more mining speed. And more damage. The damage is very nice because it also affects the night defense, since the guards can join in. But I definitely want to get all the tier 1 upgrades, and maybe go into tier 2, if we have extra resources. But I want to finish the rockets first. So we're right here at the bottom, so we're going to escape. Oftentimes you can dig right up to the point where you see a worm, and if you're really lucky, you can actually dig throughout the entire night. Just trust in your turrets to keep you alive. And the abilities on the left and right, for day and night, are linked to 1, 2, 3 on the keyboard. And you can easily trigger them while you're mining and looking for worms. We currently don't have any abilities, but the fact that there's shortcuts like that is very cool. So we've also increased our mining strength by 25%. So we move faster and mine faster. So we're going to start decimating this layer here. Got a tier 2 mortar. It makes it cheaper, but the main limiting factor is the reds. But let's get it. It is a tier 2. But as you can see, it still costs 5 iron and 1 red. So being 1 cheaper isn't that great. I'm not sure we're going to stick with that turret, but it gives us an option later. I definitely want the rocket watchers, and by the time we start working on our turrets, we can see what we've picked up. Increased visibility, I'm not sure that really helps too much, but we can afford our first rocket turret. The buildings also go up in price pretty dramatically when you start building on the second floor or the third floor. So there's definitely a strat to build the really expensive buildings on the bottom, or even sell them, because you keep all of your tech points. Laser correction periodically mines for you, slowing laser. It makes the energy weapons better. I would like to do a run with all laser corrections, so that periodically they just mine the blocks for you, and we create a team of just carriers. Sounds pretty fun. But that's for another run. And we're focusing on our rockets right now. And even the factory there, you could collect it from underground. So there's a lot of little quality of life things in there that are very nice. You don't have to scroll all the way up to get it. Got a ton of resources here to pick up. Ooh, and the worms are already here. Somehow we did not die. We got really lucky there. And now we're fighting the big units. And we've only got coverage on the left and right. Our middle is very exposed. It's a good thing we have 4 guards, though, to keep us alive. One of the things we got in the meta progression last time was that you start the run with 2 rerolls, which is very nice. It makes the influx of buildings, a lot of the choices, much more clear. You can get something you want at the start. But even then, 2 rerolls isn't quite enough. But you can always unlock more. So let's start working on the second layer here. Building recharge. Daytime abilities. Fire resistance. We've already reused all our rerolls, so we're kind of stuck with one of these. We don't have recharging buildings. We don't have a daytime ability yet. So being fire resistant sounds like a good thing, I guess. I don't know if that's a thing. But as you can see, the turrets are a lot more expensive now. 6 iron and 2 red for the rocket. Where it used to cost 5 iron and 1 red. And that's only because we're trying to build on the second floor now. Energy weapons are better, or we can boost our workers during the day. Let's get that in case we eventually build it. I think the boost is pretty strong. We still have a ton of resources down here to pick up. I wish our carriers would work a bit faster. We only have 2. And ideally we'd get a building that could help collect resources for us. As an active ability, that'd be pretty nice. I know that one exists. We've got 5 of 6 coal, and the worm is coming, so we gotta get out. We could have been a bit faster. Probably skip this wave here. If we'd built more carriers instead of guards. But the guards are just so good. Good at defense, good at keeping your guys alive. And we just need a bit more coal to break through the next layer, and then we can use all our drillers. But I did cave in and build another barracks, just so we can get some more carriers, and speed up the process. It's a bit of a waste, but it will make our life much better. Because we're almost done drilling here. Collecting is the issue. But we are very strong. And our bonus objective is to try to stay above 90% health. Tier 2 machine gun, that's an ability that you trigger. Cooldown of 18 seconds. So that's a nighttime ability. You activate the turret every 18 seconds. That one actually sounds pretty cool. The bonus objectives are not level specific. You actually choose them yourself, and if you complete it, you unlock a building. So I chose 90% health, and I think I chose 24 buildings, or something along that line, which is impossible for us to do. Unless we're digging to a depth of 250 or something. We're just never going to get the resources for it. And we got the coal. Still have 2 tech on the ground though. Have a bit more time in the day. As long as we get the tech, I don't mind drilling down. Building price. That's decent. Damage ability at nights is stronger. Let's just make the day longer. I already queued up the drill. And we'll get as much resources as we can. The machine gun is pretty cheap. 3 iron, 1 red. But we still need to make our wall of rockets. Ooh, he just picked up the tech. It's a little green cylinder. We just have to make it past the worms. Worm is at the bottom. Oh, he dropped it right at the end. But we didn't lose any guys. So that's okay. We got 3 reds, 3 blues, 2 coals to start the next one with. And we're only supposed to make it to 150 depth. This is the second mission. After this one, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, you start having to drill 200, 250. So you have to keep going further and further down in order to complete the missions. But that also means you get more resources, and you can upgrade more. We've been doing pretty good not taking damage. We'll probably get that bonus objective. Down to a depth of 100. What is this? This is really cool. A deep underground rumble reveals all the resources. That is awesome. So you can actually pick out the resources you want. And go for the reds, go for the coals. But you still gotta drill through all the rocks in order to get to it. And that left side was a dead end. So we actually can't even go over there. What do you mean fire? Aren't you 25% more resistance? That guy just died, man. I'm not sure that tech does anything. So let's replace our worker. We now have 4 drillers, 4 carriers, and 4 guards. Turret radius make their range better, or get a bunch of iron. I want both of these. But let's use the iron so we get more rockets. Because we need more rockets. It is the only way. We're still using our starting turrets as well. So our main defense is rockets. And the guards are finally paying off. Killing all the monsters, keeping ourselves healthy. Stunner ability slows down the enemies. And a drilling drone. That sounds really good, but it actually kind of sucks. Every 120 seconds, you can only drill like 3 blocks. And then you gotta wait. We barely missed that worm. But there's a similar building that sends out drones to pick up resources. You can pick up 2 resources at a time. The cooldown's actually pretty short. And that would have been really clutch to get when we needed it very badly. At this point, we already wasted resources buying more workers. We got 4 rockets too. Our clear is pretty nice. I don't think our core's been touched the last 2 times. Definitely kill the black hole. And I guess we gotta keep an eye out for the burning blocks. And there's also some shifting blocks that periodically go left, right up and down. And if your workers are right next to them while it happens, they just die instantly. And there's some blocks that will fall from the ceiling if you clear the blocks underneath them, and you'll just get crushed to death. So there's lots of little things to look out for. We're doing really well on the reds right now. We need 2 more rockets. Build a second tech lab. And we lost a guard to the worm. Go right there, that's a flaming block for sure. Take that one out. So it just periodically shoots flames out? That's not cool. Got 5 rockets, we just need 1 more to make our wall. Then we can expand our turrets, expand our tech. But our defenses are very nice. The rockets do 20% extra bonus damage, and they also explode bigger than normal. So we got some really good tech early on. The later tech was not so good though. Look how many rockets there are, and they travel all the way to the top. That is OP. If you look at the left and the right too, you can actually build turrets all the way up along the walls. I didn't realize that. I always thought they were locked next to your base. And so you have a lot of options to build your defenses. That is pretty cool. I think these rockets are way better than the lasers too. They seem to fire faster, travel further, and they do a ton of damage. Got 4 of 6 coal. Hurricane slows them down again, or a block revealer. I'm not going to build either one of those. We got most of the buildings I would want. I would enjoy a different turret though. Not sure about the mortar. Maybe if it was a tier 2 and it did something like attack faster or more damage. But just being slightly cheaper is not very exciting. It does benefit from our explosive radius though, and is our best option so far. So let's build our final rocket turret. Maximum buildings of this type. But what do you mean? We didn't complete the wall. You should at least let me build 1 more. I can understand a limit of 6, but having it be 5? That's just evil. So let's buy the active machine gun, I guess. And the worker booster. And we lost 2 guys to the fire block. Even though it's clicked, and it's a focus block right now. That will definitely happen sometimes. And that bug killed a couple more too. We're completely out of miners now. It's a good thing we had some resources to rebuild. But sometimes when you focus the dangers, you'll move all your units towards it, it'll activate, and then they'll all die. So sometimes the best approach is to just not look at the mine. Look how many rockets we got. So we can activate this turret with the 1 ability. Ooh, that looks cool. And look how fast the cooldown refreshes. This turret was pretty cheap too. The fact that you can focus the fire and all the enemies will get hit in the stream of bullets makes that incredibly strong. Now back up to 2 miners. We've had a pretty good run keeping our units alive, keeping them from dying. So having a bunch of casualties right at the end is probably the best time for it. Because if you get destroyed early on, you might as well just restart. There's a worm during the daytime. Yeah, that just scuffed the entire day right there. That was the event as well. Worms can show up during the day. But at least we get to use the really fun turret now. Send out a stream of bullets every 15 seconds or so, which goes all the way to the top. And we've maintained our 90% health We kind of focused on defense, so our objective is pretty easy. But getting 2 more layers of buildings, 24 buildings, that is just way out of reach. Well, let's start building some mortars. We only need 1 more coal. But we still have quite a bit to drill. And look how fast this guy's going. And he's on fire. He barely lived. So prioritize the burning one, please. Those fire blocks have been a menace. And our fire protection has done nothing. I imagine it might work where you get a 25% chance that you just completely ignore the fire. But so far we've been burned every single time. And most of our units are half dead. But we finally got our first mortar. We only need 1 more coal, which I believe is the purple up there. Laser watchers. Send a drone to attack. That's pretty cool. Or a shotgun turret. Once again, I'm not going to build any of those. But just seeing what exists is nice. I do wish you could focus on more blocks, though. Choose more to highlight. What would make the most sense for me is if it scaled off of how many drillers you had. How much time it would take to clear all the highlighted blocks. So you could really focus on the drillers and highlight just a massive amount of stuff down there. We've got 2 mortars, and look how big the range is. Although it can't really compare to the infinite range of the rockets. But they have a big blast radius. They seem to do quite a bit of damage, even without any upgrades. These are just the base ones. We're pretty strong, pretty healthy, and we could definitely drill down deeper. But you really want to turn in the missions, because it gives you a ton of progression, and it's the only way to unlock the other races efficiently. So we just picked up the final piece of coal. Our carrier is flying it in. And we can drill down after our next fight. And night abilities are stronger. Or more slots. This will make our turret a little bit stronger. So now we can drill down after this fight. And finish the game. Hopefully we can try to get the last mortar as well. We lost so many units right there. That Buck is a fiend. And he's not done. We're completely out of cards. Well, now there's no chance to build the final mortar. But after this fight, we can end the mission. And it doesn't really matter that we lost them all. As long as we keep our 90% health. That's all I really care about. Now, to that end, I'm going to keep spending our resources on the guards. Help us defend. There's actually a new unit as well. A very speedy red book. That's about all the resources we can spend. We're currently at 98.29%. We've taken very little damage this run. One of the first things we built were the rockets. And we didn't take any damage this time either. So let's drill down and end the mission. I do know that the next mission requires you to go at least 50 more depth, so there'd be a third part to it. And for a moment, I completely forgot that I could end the mission. So I called for evac, and we got some meta progression out of it. And look at the happy little face on the drill. We sent the core to the core because we're fixing the planet. Possibly. But everybody knows a good healthy planet shines a nice blue like this. So we maintained a 94% core. And we got some progression, which is just enough to play the dwarves next time. We destroyed 500 blocks, around 700 enemies. And we got a new healing building. It'll heal the core after every round, and that's kind of its only function. So I hope you enjoyed, and if you'd like to see more, let me know. But I'll see you later.